Hi guys.
Hello.
It's Amala.
It's Risa.
And you're on Omri Unfiltered. Risa, what are we doing today?
We are discussing this newfound delusion on the internet about women, specifically liberal women, thinking that conservative men want liberal women more than conservative women.
Yeah, dude, I saw this on TikTok and I immediately was like, send it! I had to send this to Risa. This is something that I guess I knew that women were thinking, but I didn't know it was just like such a shared thought among a lot of leftist women, apparently.
It seems like it stems from a type of narcissism because it's such a stretch. Like all these videos seem so much of a stretch. And I feel like a lot of it is just they're angry at conservative men for obviously voting for Trump and losing the election for them. And I think it's also narcissism to make them feel better about the dating culture.
So they're looking at you, you little Trump supporters, you conservative women, and they're saying, your baby daddy wants me. All right, we're going to hear it from the horse's mouth, though. Let's listen to some of these women and see what they have to say.
All conservative women, your men don't want you. They want us. And how sad that is for you, because I cannot imagine basing my entire life, my belief system, my family planning, all around trying to get men to be attracted to me, and it's still not working. It is a known stereotype that men on dating apps hide their political views. It's not to try to attract conservative women, though. Videos explaining this are a dime a dozen on this app, coming from conservative men themselves, because they see liberal women as more of a challenge. Do you get what that means? They're saying you're easy.
There's so many things that have gone wrong here.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and grant her premise that men are hiding their conservative beliefs, which we did see. I think like in the exit polling this past election, the most likely group to hide their political affiliation was Gen Z men, and obviously Gen Z Trump supporting men. And I think for obvious reasons. First of all, they don't want to be judged and screamed at while they're online trying to date people. Second of all, if these conservative men are actually out there looking for liberal and leftist women, it's because you're easy, babes. It's not because the conservative women are easy. They're trying to put in less work. The sort of like pro-choice, sexually liberated woman, if that's what conservative men are really looking for, would probably be the easier route to sex, would it not?
I also think it's probably more of them, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely more liberal women than there are conservative women. But I also like to take a jab at her taking a jab at conservative women.
Right.
Because she says, like, I'm sorry that you base your entire family planning and lifestyle just to be attracted to these men, when it's like, no, actually, we just think what we think because that's how we were raised, that's our environment, that's our belief system. It's not because we're trying to attract somebody.
Right.
That's such an insult.
It is. And they're like the pro-women camp, they're the pro-liberation camp, but they're kind of trying to get this gotcha moment of, your conservative men really want us. And even if you won the election, deep down, you have to live with this reality, which, come on, be so for real. And of course, I don't want to characterize all leftist women as believing this or being easy. You know, it's clearly the type of person where in narcissistic behavior, I think it's rooted in kind of like a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of like shame about the way you go about your life, and you feel the need to project it out to others. You know, I'm sure there are some conservative men who are out there trying to hide their beliefs just to get it in, essentially.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's because they're specifically looking for a leftist woman. Believe it or not all people center their entire life around politics.
And I would even say most men do not care what your political beliefs are. I genuinely think they just want somebody who is pleasant and doesn't stress them out, and they do not care if you voted for Kamala.
And when I think of it at the end of the day, if a man is looking for specific political values, it's probably not based on the politics itself. It's more on how your values inform your lifestyle. Like a conservative woman is probably going to be more inclined to take care of her man. She's going to want the family. She's going to want to have children. And that's where he's going to orient, probably in the long-term settling down sense. And maybe he'll stop by with a few leftist women on the way there. I mean, I don't doubt that, but not all conservative men. No. And I don't think it's this gotcha. When I first saw this video, it kind of reminds me of when trans women, and not all, but this specific type of trans woman goes, you know, your men really want us, cis women, you know, they're in my DMs.
We're more women than you are.
Yeah, it's like, okay. It's not about me at this point. The insult that you're telling me is not about me. It's more about you. It's more about how you're feeling internally, and now it's being projected outwards. So go off if it makes you feel better. Here's another one. Why do conservative men pursue liberal women.
AKA abusive men, want liberal women. Okay?
I'm going to argue, and walk with me when I say this, that traditional or conservative men pursue liberal women because they see liberal women as more feminine than conservative women. And it's about the ideology. So whenever you see conservative men attack liberal men, it's about they have coded liberalism as being feminism because it is seen as kinder and gentler. It is seen as you not being a go-getter, a taker, a conqueror, but someone who wants to build coalitions, someone who wants to compromise. And those are things that are usually associated with femininity. They want someone who is kind and nurturing to partner with. A conservative woman is seen as cold and masculine in this sense.
What? I've literally never heard this in my life, actually.
It's just a crazy, like, mental gymnastics that she's trying to play right now.
100%. First of all, like, where is the data to support that conservative women are going after leftist women to begin with in the first place? Where is the data to support that conservative women are typically associated with masculinity? If anything, there is much data to the exact opposite of this, that conservative women are interested in the conservation of traditionally feminine traits, whereas liberal and leftist women are upending that. You have the sexual liberation movement. You have the pushing away of the objective beauty standard. You have them literally taking on male roles. I mean, I see a lot of women right now, there's like a current trend on TikTok or Instagram where they're posting themselves like doing masculine things and saying like women in male-dominated fields. And it's leftist women posting it, and that's like this move to like take on male characteristics. I think is almost exclusively.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's trying to say because liberalism is more collective,
right?
So she's trying to like stretch it to be like, okay, that means that you're more caring and nurturing. But in reality, like it really does mean a woman being for herself and striving in her career and not worrying about a man. Like, that's exactly what liberalism is. It's not nurturing at all. It's not about having a partnership and taking care of somebody.
Yeah.
It's about taking care of yourself.
I'm trying to like rationalize, okay, if you really think that conservative men are going for liberal women, or they're experiencing this as, I don't want to say liberal, leftist women, they're experiencing conservative men coming after them, what do you think is the actual drive behind a man who's pursuing a woman like that?
Like, purposely trying to, like, making sure that she is liberal.
If the man exists, if these men actually exist, and they're like, yeah, I really want a Kamala Harris supporter, what do you think the drive would be behind that?
Sex.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
3-letter word.
I mean, I think sometimes, maybe, I'm trying to also stretch my brain with this, but I think sometimes men they might think that their political idea is better, so they're like, I can convince them.
Okay.
So it's sort
kind
of
like a project.
Yes, you could say, like, they're saying it's a challenge, maybe. But I don't think a man wants a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know. In a lot of ways, I've heard like this feminist theory of like the clipped wings on a bird. Like these men want challenging or like exotic, different women so they can clip the wings off of them and, you know, make them into these like docile, submissive women. I mean, maybe there's a man out there who's like, you know what? I don't want to get it the normal way of just having a woman who's already oriented towards those values. I want to change a woman, make her resent me for the rest of my life, and bang that one.
I get the challenge aspect with the biology, how men chase and drive, but I don't think that challenge is based off of political views. I think it's based off of a woman that's hard to get.
Yeah, I would think like, okay, if the challenge is sexual in nature, the easiest way you'd get that is through a left-leaning woman, typically, you'd think, right? So like, a more challenging thing for a conservative man would be like to find a super conservative woman who's high value and beautiful and has everything that he wants. And she has like suitors galore, and that's the challenge. You guys let me know if we're not on the right track here. I'm sure there will be some conservative men taking in these pieces of commentary. We've got another one here. This one says, conservative men are chasing liberal women. Melania Trump coming out and saying that she believes in individual freedom. Which, if you guys don't know what this is in reference to, Melania Trump came out with a book In this book, she establishes that she's been pro-choice virtually the entirety of her life. And this created a huge controversy and people were talking about it. We'll see what this lady has to say.
Melania Trump coming out and saying that she believes in individual freedom and a woman's right to choose is a perfect example of a conservative man attaching himself to a liberal woman in order to control or not respecting her beliefs in the first place. That's not to say that when Trump and Melania met, he also wasn't for individual freedom or like pro-choice, because he was. He changed his stance on abortion in order to gain popularity, which is typical for the Republican Party because they've used abortion and decided to use abortion as a token to gain votes and to make it a polarizing idea. It wasn't always like this. But if we are running with the logic of her coming out and her saying, he's always known this about me, and yet he still wanted to be with that woman. He married that woman. And I just saw a clip of him saying that women should be punished if they proceed with abortion. Does that mean he also wants his wife to be punished? And if that's the case, he doesn't respect her. Yet he married her because he wanted to control her. Or thought he could, but he can't. And that's why Melania is so interesting, is that she doesn't really allow him to control her. It looks like he is her pawn, which I absolutely love.
Oh, wow, this is so nuts. I can't.
Let's get some facts straight about this video. Trump has never said that he wants women to be punished for getting an abortion.
Never, never, never.
And he has always been pro-choice, and he still is pro-choice. And like, I think what she said, to gain votes, popularity, to be a little bit more lenient, I think all that is true.
Mm-hmm.
But that means everything that she said about him trying to control Melania is false.
Yeah, and I have to give people like a little bit of understanding on what happens behind the scenes within these relationships, especially with the First Lady and the President of the United States. If you are not aware that President Trump, his entire team, Melania's entire team, is wholly aware of what's in that book, and it's in fact a political move to publish that book and say that the First Lady is pro-choice, and it does exactly what you think it does. It makes everybody collectively come to his side, except for like very religious, super anti-abortion conservatives. It is a political move. It's a PR move. If you show that he's capable of being in a relationship with somebody who disagrees with him politically and on a really hot button issue for all women, according to the Kamala Harris campaign, it softens everybody's view of him. It softens everybody's view of her. And it's clearly working in the right direction in every way, shape, or form. He was wholly aware of what was going to be published in his book. She was not challenging him. They're working in tandem to promote an image. It's just wild to me that people see this as like she took a jab at her husband. She's really getting back at Trump.
He's her pawn. Like,
please. They're a couple and they work together, and they have worked together their entire relationship. And obviously these are people who are not really familiar with the inner dynamics of politics, let alone this couple, because they just view them as like the human manifestation or reincarnation of Hitler. If you look into Melania Trump talking about Donald Trump, I mean, she clearly has very deep feelings for that man. Clearly, they've known each other's politics for a very long time. I think she said that was a major part of the foothold that even brought about their relationship, is they would just sit and talk for hours about everything that was happening in the world. So it's kind of like, you're kind of demeaning her in saying that like she's not aware of like her place within this relationship in a way.
Or she was tricked and no.
Yeah. Everybody knew what they were doing there.
I feel like a lot of this is just going back to insulting a woman who thinks differently than you.
100%. It's like it cannot be fathomed that this thing exists. And it's so interesting that within this too, this is the reason that the left lost this last election, this heavy focus on repro rights and abortion, and this idea that it is central to every single person's worldview or every single woman's worldview is incorrect. And it's why somebody like Melania Trump, who is pro-choice, can remain in a marriage with somebody who might be sharing some rhetoric to the contrary. Of course, he never said, I want a total federal abortion ban. He's in fact said several statements to the opposite of that. But it's because abortion is not the center of her world. In fact, she's had children. She wanted to have those children. So I don't know. I guess, I mean, he's not with a leftist woman. He's with Melania Trump. She's pretty conservative in
in other ways.
Yeah. I just feel like you haven't heard her speak enough. Listen to women. Listen to women speak. Know women. Get to know them. Now we finally have one with a man who is talking.
Know his sexuality.
Yes, we don't know, or his political affiliation, but we're going to find out, I think, very quickly. Okay.
Why is it that conservative traditional men look for strong, independent women who are progressive and liberal. This is from Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime.
Again, is this true? I've not heard anybody substantiate that this is actually the truth, but let's hear the Trevor Noah quote.
My mother always explained it. The traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with subservient women. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector. She said,
what did I say?
He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage. Patriarchy is all about dominance. To dominate something or someone is to fulfill the highest order of patriarchy. To be a man means you have dominated, you've won, you've controlled someone or something. And especially for Christian men who are taught that to save someone, to convert them, to save them from themselves is glorifying God. And most young boys are conditioned to have this dream of saving the damsel in distress. I will save her from the dragon. I will slay the dragon and rescue the princess, and she'll love me forever. And her dragon is herself. I need to change her and save her from her liberal, dangerous ideas. And there's an intersectionality to this, too. I mean, patriarchy loves dominance. Christianity loves converting people and changing them, even if it's against their will. White saviorism, whiteness loves saving people. And men just love being above women. They love a woman who needs them, who's dependent on them.
Okay. Perfect. I will say this is the most well-articulated one we've listened to. Unfortunate it's a man. That's some crazy work right there. Crazy work. Let's get through all of this. This idea that like domination and change is the root of things. I can totally see this being a cause for many people. I'm reminded of like Nala, that OnlyFans girl who was like slutting it up, pouring it up.
8 million on OnlyFans.
Yeah, and then she started dating a Christian guy, and the Christian guy was like, I'm gonna convert this girl, and he converted her, and then I guess they started a relationship, and now maybe they're married or engaged or whatever like that.
I married the top OnlyFans creator, and I ended up leading her to Christ. Here's how I did it.
And he does like to talk about this influence that he's had over her.
He loves it.
Yes. And I do think within like the religious framework of things, that's very true. On the other hand, the Christian community has largely like cast this woman aside and saying that she's not quite ready to like be with us. So I think there's a balancing act with all people. It's like the duality of man. Some people are more oriented towards that sort of savior complex. And for men, maybe it is like, I want to take the worst of the worst woman and make her into like a conservative
The savior
person.
complex makes a lot of sense with Christian men.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't
to
see
say
with
that
conservative.
but to say that the other drive is patriarchy,
Wild.
no. Like to say that men are like, this is an idea of patriarchy and I'm going around trying to dominate the women who disagree with me, that is not true.
Right.
Like a part of Christian culture is to save people, and that is a very clear message that's talked about within the church.
Right.
But to say men are going around being like, all right, guys, we got to keep spreading this patriarchy around.
Right. Like, I need to find a woman who does not want to cook, who doesn't want to clean, who doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I'm going to make her into one. I don't think that's ever happening. The amount of work you would have to put in as a man, on top of the work of already building a substantial, significant relationship, that would be otherworldly. Who is putting in that amount of work to, like, make subservient this independent woman who wants to be, I don't know, like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company?
Yeah.
It's just not, I just haven't seen it. I mean, maybe you guys are having different experiences.
I mean, most men don't even want to date anymore. Like, look at the statistics. So you really think they want to date something that is that much of a challenge for them?
Right. I do think men seek out challenges in their dating. And, like, if you're going to be a woman who is, like, widely sought after by high-value suitors or high-value men, it's good to, first of all, share their values, but then stack on top of those values, like, other things that make you admirable and attractive to men. I don't think when men are taking on this challenge of like the exotic bird or whatever, that they're trying to find like the complete antithesis of who they are as a person to change them. They're trying to find a woman who shares their values so much so that she is at the top of the leaderboard. She is like the apex. If you're calling it patriarchy, she's the apex prey, I guess, not predator. And they're trying to get that woman, you know, like think of the most like wholesome, conservative, milkmaid woman you could think of. That's the person that they're trying to get. They want the Hannah Nealman. They want the Ballerina Farm.
Yeah.
They don't want the OnlyFans one percenter.
That goes to women marches.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they're like trying to like, you see that Amber Rose girl who did the slut walk? I'm gonna make her into a conservative stay-at-home mom.
She hates cooking? Well, wait till I'm done with her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I would never do that with a leftist man ever in my life. I've certainly heard like leftist women going out and trying to date leftist men and then finding out they want more conservative masculinity, but I've not heard the same from conservative women. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I think my closing thought is men do not care what you think. Okay?
You're gonna
They
have to
don't
let
care
us
if
know,
you're
guys.
a leftist. They don't care if you're conservative. They just want you to be nice and pretty. Okay?
That is too
That
funny.
is speaking from personal experience.
The only thing is I have my man exclusively wants to know what I think 100% of the time. All day. So
All
maybe
the time.
that's not true. At least not for him. If you don't tell that man what you think, he's done.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
over it. He's over it. So you have to find, if that's what you want, you got to find that type of guy. They maybe are a rare breed. I don't know. It just depends on like your maturity level.
I think I've just realized that they may care what you think as long as they don't think you're smarter than they are.
Interesting. My man would say I'm smarter than even though it's not true. It's not true. But maybe he's an anomaly.
Yeah, he is an anomaly of it and everything.
I'll take it. Yeah, I do think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like the age range too. Like I'm 24, you're early 30s. So it's like maybe that like settling period where men mature and look for things like that is just a little later on in life. It's a later realization. Like men are just trying to like get their bag, find a woman who's nice.
Yeah, who's good enough.
Yeah. They want like a woman who's like, I can talk to you, but like you're super nice to me. You make my life easier. You hopefully make food from when I get home from work, and like you're helping me do the things that I'm pursuing in my life. Men, let me know. Do you care what women think?
Yeah.
Be honest. Don't lie. And in conservative men, if you're out there on the hunt for leftist women,
Yeah, tell us your strategies. Tell us why.
please, yes, tell us why. Is it sexual? Is it because of their politics? Is it that you want to clip their wings and mangle them to where they can't fly anymore? Be honest.
Clip those crop tops.
You wanna trim the armpit hair off of them? Let me shut up. Let me shut up, guys. Yeah, let us
Dye that hair back to normal.
Oh, we'll be here all week.
Like, blue hair, go.
Go get them. Go get that box dye. Okay, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, right?
Click the notification bell.
To be notified every single time we post a video for you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.